Hello and welcome to the 14th edition of What the Hell Just Happened, the video blog that roams the country to find stories to justify your frustration so you don't have to. I'm your host, Martin Ganapoler. This week we begin in the birthplace of Martin Luther King, the home of the Allman Brothers. Georgia, Georgia. In a couple of weeks, they'll be having an historic governor's race between the current Secretary of State, Republican Brian Kemp, and Democrat Stacey Abrams, the minority leader of the Georgia House of Representatives and the first African-American woman to run for governor of the state. And what the hell just happened there? Well, Secretary Kemp, who is in charge of elections, has instituted a voting policy that states that your ballot must exactly match your DMV records. For example, if your driver's license has a period after your middle initial and your ballot does not, you don't get to vote. Based on this policy, Kemp now holds 53,000 ballots in a cabinet in his office that have been withheld from voters. Now, it just so happens that 70% of these ballots belong to African Americans. Wow, what a coincidence! Can anyone in Georgia say conflict of interest? I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks. Let's stay in Georgia just long enough to eat a peach. Like many states, Georgia has an early in-person voting policy so that people who can't get to the polls on election day have a chance to vote. Makes sense, right? So in order to help make sure that elderly and rural folks can get to the polls, a group named Black Voters Matter rented a bus to pick up people to take them to vote. This is a nonpartisan organization which is making a bus tour across the southern states with the goal of urging black people to vote. And what the hell just happened next? Well, the county commissioner's department received an anonymous tip from someone who complained that the bus had inflammatory signage on it saying the South is rising and black voters matter. Ooh! And quicker than you can say, "Make me a mint julep, Beauregard," the bus was pulled over by the sheriff and the elderly occupants were ordered to exit the vehicle. Black Voters Matter's co-founder, Latasha Brown, said, quote, "We knew it was an intimidation tactic. We experienced voter suppression in Louisville, Georgia. We had a whole busload of beautiful black elders ready to go vote when the county commissioner shut us down and made our elders get off the bus without having the chance to vote," end quote. So I guess this could qualify as the first white bus boycott ever. Since we're down south, let's journey west to the 22nd Congressional District in Sugar Land, Texas, along the bastion of notorious right-wing political boss Tom the Hammer DeLay. What the hell just happened there? Well, a young Vietnamese-American teacher named Nathan Chong, who had grown up there, felt that he'd had enough of the politics coming from the White House, so he decided to work for Sri Preston Kulkarni. Now, Kulkarni is a Democrat running for Congress against incumbent Republican Pete Olson in this historically Republican but now mostly Asian American district. And what Nathan Chong did was brilliant and revolutionary. He immediately set up a phone bank of volunteers who spoke 13 languages, including 6 languages, dialects that are spoken in India, and a Nigerian language called Ligbo. He then recruited more volunteers of various ethnicities to canvass the district neighborhoods. Chong reasoned that if a block walker looks like the constituent, they're more willing to listen. Yeah. On Wednesday, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee broke a long silence and put Kulkarni on the coveted red to blue list. This means there will be significant support available to Kulkarni. If he is elected, it'll stand as a model to which all Democratic campaigns will aspire. Nice work, Nathan. And finally, we zip north to San Francisco, California, where a woman decided to take a bike ride through the park one Sunday. And about halfway through the ride, an Uber driver decided to unload his passengers into the dedicated bike lane where she was riding. Her bike slammed into the opening door and she was thrown onto her knee, which was immediately shattered. 1 week and 2 surgeries later, the doctors told her she wouldn't be able to walk on that injured leg for 3 months or more. Since she lives on the 3rd floor of an Edwardian walk-up apartment, she knew she wouldn't be able to get to the polls on voting day. So what the hell just happened next? Did she simply consider voting too difficult to undertake? Did she figure that she had other priorities that just didn't include voting? Hell no! One of the first things she did when she came home was to call the Election Commission and request an absentee ballot. So she will be voting this November. In full disclosure, the story's about my wife, Loran. And I'm very proud of her. Thanks for watching. See you on the next episode of What the Hell Just Happened. And remember, Loran literally couldn't get off her ass to vote, but she's voting anyway. Can you do anything less? Bye for now.